graphing the given equation, our first step has got to be, my first step has got to be to get the x with its coefficient on the other side. And then we divide everything that's in front of the y. And I'm going to be graphing negative 2/3 x plus 3. So we graph a line, and this should be a review. We're always solving for y. The constant over here, 3, is always my y-intercept, my starting point. And then negative 2/3, we go up 2, left 3, down 2, right 3. I like to put a point on either side of the y-axis, and I sketch my line. The second one, same deal. We're going to move the x with its coefficient over through addition or subtraction. Usually it'll be subtraction. Now we're going to divide everything by negative 4. And we're going to be left with y equals negative 3 over negative 4 is a positive 3/4. Negative 8 over negative 4 is a positive 2. My y-intercept is 2. In this case. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 3, left 4. And that's my graph. Okay? Now, if you want to check it, check one of the points on your graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5 should make this work. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 5 is 20. 12 minus 20 is negative 8. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 3, 5 should make this work. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 3 times 5 is 15. Negative 6 and 15 does equal 9. Okay. So from there, so this right here is our shifts. Okay. Now, I'm starting at 1, negative 4. When you subtract by 4, what shift is that? Is that right or left? Well, whatever makes this parenthesis equal to 0. 4 makes this parenthesis equal to 0, so that's a shift of going right 4. And then here we keep the sign, up 5. So I'm going to move this point, 1, negative 4, right 4, and up 5. 1 and 4 is 5. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So that's my new point. So in terms of this one, what makes the parenthesis equal to 0? Negative 4. So that means we're going left 4. And we're going down 2. Okay? So left 4 from negative 2 is negative 6. Down 2 from 5 is 3. That's my answer. When there's a coefficient out here, if you notice, there's no x minus or x plus. That means the x coordinate stays the same. But when there's a coefficient outside the f of x, you multiply the y coordinate by that number. 4 times 3 is 12, and then we're going up 1. So 4 times 3 is 12, and then up 1, negative 313 is our new point. So the absolute value graph here that shifts left and down 2. Notice there's no stretch or shrink. Okay, they're just shifting basically what the vertex is. The general formula of an absolute value is this. We should know that. where HK represents our vertex. Since they don't mention any vertical shift or stretch here, my A is going to equal 1. If I'm shifting to the left 4, that means my H, my vertex, is going to be a negative 4. And I'm shifting down, that means the K vertex point is going down 2. So when I write this in the formula, y equals, I don't need to write 1 in for A. What is x minus a negative 4? 4. That's why when we shift left, we put a plus sign because the negative 4 makes the absolute value 0. When we shift right, we put a minus sign because a positive number makes the absolute value equal to 0. Okay? And then we keep the sign of up or down. That's literally your answer right there. Y equals the absolute value of x plus 4 minus 2. Okay. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to establish my vertex. First thing I'm going to get. My vertex here is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My vertex is 3, negative 8. So if you want to, for your equation, it's going to be y equals a times the absolute value of x minus h plus k. You can literally plug in there, like that's part of the equation already, okay? It's just plugging the vertex in. Now, the way I would go about it, okay, is I'm going to take a point on the vertex. Or, excuse me, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm going to take a point that's not the vertex. Any other point. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Point 4, negative 5 is on this graph. And I'm going to plug, you can put my x in here, 4 and 5 in for my x and y. Or, I'm sorry, 4 and negative 5 in for my x and y. So point 4, negative 5 is on this graph. I'm going to plug negative 5 in for y. A times, I'm going to plug 4 in for x, minus 3. It should be a negative 8 here. This should be a minus 8, and this should be a minus 8. Okay? So when I put my vertex in of 3, negative 8, x minus 3, x minus 3, absolute value of it, minus 8. So, what would make this equal to 0? 3. That's why it's x minus 3. The y coordinate of the vertex is negative 8, so we just plug in negative 8 in there. Okay? We do the same here. We put the negative 3 and the negative 8 in, and I pick a point on my graph, 4, negative 5. I plug 4 in for x and negative 5 in for y. And now I'm solving for a. The absolute value of 4 minus 3 is the absolute value of 1. The absolute value of 1 is 1, and 1 times a is a. And we add 8 to both sides, we get 3. So my a equals 3. And that should allow me to do stretch, shrink, and the shift. Okay? So my equation, y equals 3, absolute value of x minus 3 minus 8. The number here for a being bigger than 1 indicates vertical stretch. Our vertex is 3, negative 8, and my shift, we multiply the y coordinate by 3. And then we're going right 3, down 8. You do not need to put this in. But if you want to put your parent graph in, you can. And let's take a look at point 1, 1. Let's see if we can verify it. Point 1, 1, if we multiply the y coordinate by 3, is 1, 3. Right here. And now I'm going to go right 3, down 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there I am at 4, negative 5. It's another way of verifying your answer is correct. again, I want to establish what the vertex is. That's probably the most important point. And that vertex is -2, -3. So right away, I can put that in my equation. -2, -3, that's y equals, leave a little space for yourself. Since it's a -3 coming over, man, I might have one of those days, yikes, I'm sorry, your vertex is -3, -2. Okay, sorry about that, not -2, -3, -3, -2. All right, so what would make this absolute value equal to 0? It would be x plus 3. If I plug the -3 in for that, I get 0. My shift down would be a -2. Right. So the vertex is -3, -2 then. Now, from that, okay, I'm going to have to work down here a little bit. Actually, you know what? I will. Okay, same deal. I'm going to pick a point on this graph. Looks to me like point 1, -3 is available. And that's how I'm going to find my A. My Y is -3. A times 1 plus 3 minus 2. Okay? So we have 1 plus 3. We have our -3 for our Y. Okay? And now, -3 equals A, absolute value of 4 minus 2. I think we all can agree the absolute value of 4 is 4. -3 equals 4A minus 2. I add 2 to both sides, I get -1. And my A is a -1/4. And that should be consistent with the graph. I have the graphs opening down, my A should be negative. That means that that A is less than 1, greater than -1, I have vertical shrink. And my shift, we're multiplying the Y coordinate by -1/4. And we're going left 3, down 2. That's the shift. Okay? If you wanted to put the parent graph in, and my advice is pick something that won't give you a fraction. So 4.44. 4 times -1/4 is -1. So from 4 -1, so from 4 -1, which is right here, I'm literally going 1, 2, 3, down 2. I should end up on a spot on my new graph. Okay, so if you want to check it off the parent graph, you can. You do not have to. But if you want to check it off the parent graph, you